Hey, it's Dan McDonald here, and today I want to mention before I get started on the video that I'm having the annual Black Friday sale on my website, regenerateyourlife.org. 50% off all of the classes and programs at my online school. That's regenerateyourlife.org. There's a link down below. Go over there and check it out and see if there's any of those classes or programs you want to get at 50% off. I highly recommend the 30-Day Living Foods Transformational Program at 50% off. Get that 30-Day Living Foods Transformational Program and get the recipe guide. There's 350 of my absolute best raw and living food recipes, and all of the details and all the instructions and all the measurements are there. These recipes are easy, they're simple, and delicious. There's a link down below for that. Thank you very much. Today I'm going to make just a small batch of some preserved vegetables. I wanted to share this with you because let's say you're go to the market and you only go once a week. Well, you can buy a whole big old pile of kale or cabbage or bok choy, and then you can preserve it, and then it will stay for weeks on end. And that way, like a lot of my phone coaching clients, you know, they'll be like, well, I can only make it to Whole Foods. It's like an hour away. I can only make it there once a week, or there's only one farmer's market a week, or whatever. If you can learn how to preserve these vegetables, you'll have this fiber, this living food that's organic and fresh and still alive and yet preserved in a brine of salt. So this is some baby bok choy. It's magnificently delicious, and this is one of my favorite ways to do this. I'm doing some deliveries today. It's actually Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving. I'm just gonna have a salad like I always do with a friend. But anyways, take the bok choy. You can do this with kale. You can do this with cabbage. You can throw in some carrots, ginger, turmeric, whatever. This one goes really well with ginger and turmeric and green onions in it. But I'm just gonna do the plain version so I can be real quick on this video. Take a little bit of salt, maybe a tablespoon or two, depending on how salty you like it, and then you just masticate. And you just do this and you work it, and that salt begins to pull some of the moisture out. And the salt is what will preserve it, as well as the refrigeration. So there's different types of sauerkrauts. This is just a preserved vegetable dish with bok choy. And then these vegetables will last for weeks in a jar. And I use these big jars here to make kimchi and sauerkraut for Sunday Dance Church. I make food for about 100 people every weekend. And so I make kimchi and sauerkraut throughout the week, so I've gotten to be pretty good at it. And I make all kinds of awesome raw food salads and stuff. And then I take all the pulp left over from the juicing, and I make crackers. And for the last 2 weeks, I've made raw chocolate. Gotta believe me when I tell you that goes over very well. And so this is for my friend Skylar. She's an amazing body worker. She came out of retirement, 2 years of retirement from body work, and just gave me her first session in like 2 years, and it was incredible. And she said, I will trade you raw foods for body work. And I'm like, you just spoke to the right man, because these raw foods transform everyone that eats them and drinks the juices. I've seen it hundreds and hundreds of times in my family members, girlfriends, friends, people that hang around with me, retreat guests, all of it, over and over and over again. I have a very special talent and gift of using food as medicine to regenerate the human body, because when you get that gut working right, man, there is nothing you can't do. You have so much energy and clarity and strength, because all the immunity, all the strength, all the hormones, all the steroids, all the neurotransmitters, all the enzymes, all the fatty acids, all the energy for the ATP in the cells is produced microbially in the gut. And we have this broad range of diversity, and now it's like down to this 10 and 15,000 different types when we should have 30 to 40,000 different types. And so I'm regenerating my own microbiome, and it's made an amazing difference in my levels of health, energy, clarity, power, peace, and virility. And so I want to encourage the living foods. And if you need instruction, you go to my website right now and you go look at the classes and pick some out. Lose a Pound a Day is still at the top. Detox Mastery, like I said, the 30-day Living Foods Transformational Program, you get that book, you print it off and you put it on your countertop and you make those juices and you make those salads and those salad dressings and those smoothies and those entrees and those desserts, and you use fresh organic fruits and vegetables, and you learn how to access the local food in your environment, and you really start to begin to get reconnected back to nature, and then you can get sane again in a total world that's totally gone insane from processed, packaged, and cooked foods with no microbial activity. The fiber's dead, so everyone's getting SIBO. And we're just getting weaker and weaker and sicker and overweight and cancer and autism. And it is all associated with diet and toxicity from all the chemicals and the stress and many other elements as well. But just if you can get your gut working properly, by eating simple, plain, basic, wholesome, and nutrient-dense, high-vibration foods, oranges and celery and cucumbers and tomatoes, avocados, lemons, greens of all types, cabbages. It's amazing what you can do. And what I've found, I could talk to you forever because there's been so much suffering. I've had so many phone consults lately, but you know, at the end of the day, now that I'm here and succeeding at ultra high levels on the live foods diet, I'll tell you that I have found that a high carbohydrate, high fat, high fiber, live foods diet that is super simple, 4 or 5 things in a bowl for my salad at night with hardly anything on it. Some avocados, a little olive oil, a little ginger, a little turmeric, some shredded carrots, with just plain, basic, but large salads to feed the gut microbes. I like to drink the juice during the day. I like to eat wholesome fruits. And then I like to have my microbiome salad every night. And it really has been a huge blessing. So all of the niches in the raw foods, it's like a really well-rounded, really diverse living foods diet. But when the fats are not cooked, God, imagine what can happen to your bloodstream and the cell activity. When the fats are cooked, it's just sludge. But the living fats are water soluble and they don't stick to your pipes like the cooked fats. The cooked carbohydrates, the fiber gets destroyed. So there's fermentation in the small intestine, but then there's candidas and yeast overgrowths because that fiber's not making it down to the colon where the fermentation is supposed to take place. A healthy fermentation. So that living fiber gets destroyed when it's cooked. The microbes on the food, whether it's fruit or vegetable, brings in a communication network via the soil and all the bacteria that's in the soil into your own gut. And it teaches your own gut how to be healthy via the food or via the microbes that are on the food that you eat. But if you cook that, you cook out the light, which is the main thing. The light is what allows the microbes to communicate. The light is what allows for cell permeability to get energy into the cell and toxins out of the cell. So the light is the most important thing, and that's only in the living foods. But then there's the microbes, then there's the fiber, then there's the structured water, and then there's the enzymes, and it's all ruined by heat, and my brothers and sisters suffer so, when they could become alive with power and life and virility and peace. Why? Because there's no death. When death is consumed, there can be no peace, because you are a human being and a conscious being. Look at the size of your frontal lobe. And if you knew what type of suffering you were engaging in, if you saw the slaughterhouses and the way we treat these sick, sad, anxious, angry animals, you would never eat that food. You would never, ever touch a dead animal, because they suffer, and then you suffer, and you never know how much you're suffering until you completely take all that out, and the peace that you can feel and the love that you can feel because you are on a karma-free diet. Isn't that amazing? Such a beautiful thing. Very simple process. You can go crazy on this and just throw all kinds of you could just throw some carrots in there and it'd just make it have a nice color. You could throw some purple cabbage in there and it'd be magnificent. A little ginger and turmeric is my favorite. Well, I'll fill that one up after you go, but thank you for taking your time to listen. My intention is to serve and share my truth with you. And I hope that you just take what you can and leave the rest. But in any event, I really do pray that you and your family are healthy and that they are happy and that you are living in a state of thanksgiving, that you are living in a state of gratitude. And with that attitude of gratitude, I really pray and believe that you will be blessed with abundance. And when you are blessed with abundance, you will have the desire to give. And when you become when you become generous, then you start to begin to see where the real joy of life comes from giving what you have to others in the form of knowledge, energy, resources, etc. I really pray that you feel the overflow of life and light within you. Thank you, my friend, for taking your time to watch this video. I'm going to be taking a hiatus for some time, diving in again, 40 days and 40 nights, for clarity and purity, for world health and world peace, and fasting for the animals. Aloha, mahalos, God bless you, and peace be with you.